All right. There we go. Hey, Anna.
Hey, good
Good
morning.
morning. Happy Tuesday, not
I'm
Monday. How are
a
you
little,
today?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm sitting in, I don't know if you guys, there's like something on the wall here. My daughter built a pretend library that I am sitting in right now. And the library actually has a fitness center.
Fancy.
Yeah. But right now it is currently closed.
Closed.
So
Closed. It's closed for business. That's great.
yeah. So,
That's
but I
awesome.
mean, a library with a fitness center is like speaking to my heart. So that's pretty cool. She's got it
I
set up with
know you can read and exercise at the same time. Those are like two of my favorite things.
and a child care. So yeah, it's like
Ah,
pretty,
that's
pretty thoughtful
awesome.
library. But yeah, so that's why there's things on the
It's all good. My kids are home because here in Memphis, in the South, we had an ice storm last night. And so every schools are closed. Everybody's freaking out because there's ice everywhere, which is no big deal for me, having lived in the North. I'm like, okay, it's one of the things that will never stop being funny to me about living in the South is like the cold weather is a huge deal.
yeah.
So
Well,
it's
you guys don't have the same kind of infrastructure with salting trucks and
exactly.
we're yeah, in Wisconsin, we're in another little cold snap, but they have canceled so much school this year, which obviously doesn't
No.
impact us being home educators, but so
Yeah.
now it's funny because in the beginning of the school year, maybe 10, 15 below, they might cancel school, but now it's the kids are going to school because they've had missed too many days. So yeah.
Yep. Yep. That makes sense. Well, I'm super excited to talk to you about this topic. You guys that are popping in live or watching this on replay saw the description. We are talking about our core today because both of us have stories, and I think every mother, every mother has a story around what's going on in our core. And I'm just really excited to talk about this because so many women, so many moms that come through my world as a trainer, and Anna specifically, have struggled with this. And I think there's a lot of confusion around like what this should be like or what we should be doing or what we could be doing. And quite frankly, not enough education and support out there for moms after pregnancy or when we're dealing with core and back pain. So we're going to jump right in and I'm going to just throw this out there. Like raise your hand if you have trouble holding your pee when you exercise, because this for me, after I had two babies, one of them was a C-section, and then I was able to have a VBAC, which was awesome. But I had so many complications after that. And I was so excited to, get out and start walking and moving again, because I've always loved that. I know it makes me feel good. And when you're cooped up with baby all the time, sometimes you just need to get out of the house. And I'll never forget the first time that I went out. I had him in the stroller and I was just so excited. And I didn't even run. It was like a brisk walk. I remember taking a couple of steps and totally peeing in my pants. And I had to turn around and go home. And I just sat there crying because I was like, what is happening? What is happening? I had no idea. And this, led me on this journey where I had very serious repair work to do in my core and my pelvic floor. And it was humbling because my background was in gymnastics and I was always like that annoying person that everybody hates in the gym, like with a six pack and a really strong core. And so in my head, I was like, what are you talking about? I have core problems. Like I'm so strong. And I learned so much through that process that I now love sharing with moms and normalizing for moms, right? Like if you're here and you're still peeing your pants, like I want you to know it doesn't have to be that way. That is not the destiny of every single mother post baby. And it really doesn't take a ton of time,
No.
just some intention and um, consistency, I guess is the right word. So that's a little bit about my story and how I walked through this. Now, Anna, you have just been amazing as a resource. Anna came in as a coach here in the 20-minute boost workout program I work with, and she has just a boatload of experience and training in core. So tell us a little bit about like your experience in that and the journey that you went on as well.
Yeah. So it's kind of wild. 80% of women will carry a pregnancy at some point in their life. And so knowing that as a very young personal trainer, I felt like I need to go through training to learn about prenatal and postpartum health. So well before I became a mama myself, I went through training with an incredible exercise physiologist who actually authored the book Fit Pregnancy for Dummies. Do you guys remember those books? All the like and she was incredible. She trained so many women as an exercise physiologist through a hospital-based fitness program through her career. And I got to learn from her as a really young 20-something and start training women through their pregnancies. But my personal journey with my core is kind of interesting. I think as an athlete, not as competitive as you, but just as any sort of athlete, you're going to have injuries and imbalances in your body kind of show up, and they're probably going to show up in your core, because what we're really talking about is the middle third of our body. We're talking about our rib cage. We're talking about our glutes, all of that. Yes, all of that. Yes, all that connection and all of your back muscles that attach to your pelvis. So if, something in your hips is tight, anyways, all of that. So I actually had a really major back injury. I had a slip and fall, which is kind of wild. Shaving my legs in my apartment shower, slipped and fell, went and taught fitness classes all day, and ended up in therapy for 2 years and limping and in a great deal of pain with what they surmised was a low back fracture. What's really fascinating is through that whole journey, the things that I could always do are the exercises in the core program without pain. And it did put me on this really incredible journey with regards to core stability, posture. I had incredible posture. I mean, I was teaching yoga, I was teaching Pilates. So I was sort of confused when I was referred to a posture specialist. But what we see for good posture on the outside isn't necessarily what's going on the inside with all of those supportive muscles. So that was just a really great personal journey to go from injury to wellness in my core. And there were actually moments in that therapy journey where they didn't know if I'd be able to carry a pregnancy because of that little hairline fracture in my SI joint, of the pain. I couldn't, it was a really bad injury. So what my mornings looked like, where my husband would help kind of carry me to our kitchen table and I'd take pain meds. We had stairs out of our apartment. I'd crawl out. By the time I got to my car, my pain meds were kicked in, and I'd drive to work and teach fitness classes. And I was in chronic pain, I would say for, close to 2 years. So really, really wild to be on the other side of that injury. I learned so much, and then have just layered on. I think I've taken every prenatal postpartum workshop that Stop Pilates has offered. That's my background, reformer Pilates, and have done, just other updated injuries and special populations. I've just kind of geeked out on learning as much as I can as a fitness person. Mm-hmm. And after my first pregnancy, my son Max was a pretty traumatic delivery. And so I actually had bowel incontinence, which is also extremely terrifying if anyone is wondering. So going for a run, and now I was 10 years past that other injury. I had what I felt like was the strongest pelvic floor, but I had pretty close to a level 4 tear with him, which requires stitches all through your pelvic floor, your sling muscles, those muscles that really hold your pelvis in place, which really have nothing to do with the, I shouldn't say have nothing to do with it, but when you think about your core, you don't think my bottom, like holding me up, and this needs to be taken care of really well. And perhaps core exercises I'm doing are creating downward pressure.
Right. And so that's so funny that you mentioned that, because I had no idea. Like, and I talk to moms all the time that are like, no, I'm trying to like strengthen my core, and they're doing crunches. And I'm like, stop. You have to stop doing crunches, because that's what was going on with me and my ignorance, right? As I had created, I was very strong, right, in these top muscles, but I didn't understand like what you were talking about, that cradle. And so I actually had, it was called prolapse after
Yeah.
mine, where like those muscles that kind of hold everything in down there were just so weak, and one side of it was just completely like non-functioning, that stuff was literally just like coming out of me, and it was terrifying and it was confusing. So yeah, that was exactly what I had to do. I had to stop training and trying to strengthen the core that we all think of up here, and just get down to these honestly just boring and terrible and unsatisfying exercises that like took so much like mental concentration to do like so little. And I think that's what was hardest for me, is just how basic or like simple or like non rewarding these exercises.
Well, think about what we see in fitness, and then working in fitness, right? We see people like, my stomach, there's like a lot of obsession, I think, with still like stomach and, big glutes and like all the showy muscles and
Right.
the workouts that are going to get you there, but they're not going to necessarily take care of your pelvic floor, which you need for function for your lifetime to do the other things.
Yeah.
And this is all, I would say, while I learned about it, 20 years ago, it was still pretty cutting edge. I mean, this training was an exercise physiologist. So in the fitness world, we really weren't talking about these things. In
Right.
fact, a very popular, I won't throw them under the bus, but a very popular trendy fitness program about 15 years ago put out a promo video with these huge women lifters. And they said, if you don't pee your pants when you're lifting, you're doing it wrong. And I watched the video and I actually got teary, because I was thinking, these poor women that are hearing this, they're creating so much abdominal pressure that
Yeah.
yes, they might look awesome up here, but
Yeah.
they're going to be in their 60s with, sorry, I'm like getting emotional. They're going to be in their 60s with bladder problems. And
Right.
and I know my mom had 6 kids.
Yeah.
She had a lot of pelvic floor issues until she started training it. She was even signed up to have a surgery and
Right.
then started.
Well, and so that I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because the women that I talk to in who have that severe issue, it's, I think, the jump to in our head, because we don't really understand the musculature there, is I need to have surgery to fix this. And I literally just had this conversation the other day with this mom. We had done a test. She had a very big separation, and she was dealing with pelvic floor issues and control. And I was like, no, like we can definitely make some progress, but there's pelvic floor therapy out there. There's specific therapy and training that you can do. And she texted me the other day. She's like, I'm going to see the doctor about surgery. And I was like, what are you doing? What do you do? Like, yeah, maybe, right? There are some people that the damage there will lead to needing that type of repair. And I definitely recommend seeing therapists, seeing doctors about this to get that medical advice. But it's just so quick to see, it's that quick fix. It's that quick fix thing, isn't it? That so many of us deal with in different things, that well, if this will just get me there fast, so I don't have to deal with these hard symptoms, then I'll just do that. But in the end, you still haven't repaired the damage that has been done to like strengthen the muscle. So even if that symptom isn't there anymore, over time, if your core isn't strong, like you will have back pain, and you be more susceptible to injury and all these other things that are connected to our core. So
and I mean, I think, in the elderly, I think like having, which we've talked about on here, just like this long-term vision for wellness, like we want to take really good care of our bodies now, so that in 20, 30, 40 years, we're not, struggling with these things. And it starts now with these foundational exercises. And I mean, I love that you talked about, referring on. We definitely don't want to replace doctors or physical therapists. And I think we see fitness people all the time trying to do that. You know, the core program we're going to talk about today is really to come alongside. You've exited your physical therapy program, or, you know, your doctor maybe said, you know, you're not there, just keep moving. You know, that was kind of what I got a little bit, you know, like, oh, you're good. You know, my midwife was like, you're active, you're good. And I'm thinking, you know, sometimes we need someone else to look at our body and give us advice, to give us tools. And so that's what Megan and I are here for. I mean, we've seen great.
And my journey was, you know, I had to seek out, because of how severe my problems were, I had to seek out and do specific pelvic floor therapy, which I think most women should do.
Yes.
Like postnatal, everybody should do that.
You should ask for a referral at your 6-week visit with your doctor. You should say, could I please referral to a pelvic floor specialist?
For sure.
Should be giving it to you, but I just, yes.
So ask for that, right? Like if you're watching this and you are in that postnatal phase, like right now, ask for it, you can get it. And honestly, you can go and do this anytime, right? Like if you don't restore those muscles, you know, in that first year or so postnatal, you can be 10 years down the road and still having the same symptoms as somebody who delivered a baby, you know, 3 months ago. And the same process holds true, right? But so what I did is I went into this intensive pelvic floor therapy program. And then I had this doctor that was kind of checking with me and, you know, was talking about, okay, surgery, this. I was like, no. So I went through all this, and then he got me to the point where I was functional, but then it was like, okay, like you're done. And then I was like, okay. I was like, okay. So I kept, I kind of kept on with those exercises, but then like the next step was going back into the gym and right? Where's that gap? So it was definitely important for me to go from there and then continue to sort of ease in. And I've still even lately, like suffered the consequences of doing too much like strength and not paying enough attention to like the deeper core and the spinal balance. So it's really important to have that kind of bridge between those. And
it's huge, that slower pace. I think women also notice once your ligaments have been loosened for pregnancy, you're probably going to have a loosening effect every month with your cycle, just a little bit. The week before your period, your ligaments are going to be a little looser. And so you can, if you overdo it that week, and this is different for every woman, like how sensitive you are. I think being like a very body aware person, I'm like, oh yeah, I overdid it. Now I've got some things that are going on because I wasn't doing those more mindful breathing exercises that week, being a little more gentle to my body. So I think these are things that can pop up because of what your body did. I mean, you think about pregnancy. I mean, what an incredible thing, but everything has shifted.
Everything changes.
Everything changes, and our bodies don't just bounce back. They can. I mean, some people are just like, I'm good. And some of us go through
all the trauma. And so, if you're sitting here and you're watching this and you are wanting to exercise and you're wanting to be more active, but you're feeling like either I've come through this injury and I'm not really sure how to get started and I don't want to do too much too soon. Or, if you're doing crunches or sitting or whatever, and you're feeling like that abdominal separation in your midsection still, there's tests that you can do that we can help walk you through just to see where you're at with that. The pelvic floor dysfunction, low back pain, right? Like all these like hip pain, all these things that kind of come along with core dysfunction or imbalance or weakness. So this is for you. Like you're the people that we're talking to. And we decided that it was going to be really important to offer some type of program to women who are in that place that need to focus on this restorative process in their core before you can go into an exercise program. Because just like Anna said, if you're working with imbalances or injury or anything in your core and you go into a regular workout program, I'm sure some of you have felt this, it can injure you. It can make things worse. And no exercise program should ever make things feel worse. You may have some like residual muscle soreness, but it should never feel worse. You should never see things opening more. It should never cause pain for you. So the Core Restore program, Anna, you were just an amazing resource in putting this together. So give a quick snapshot of somebody who comes in and starts this program. Like, who is this for? What can they expect in these 20-minute workouts?
Yeah, so we sort of mentioned this is for someone who, like you mentioned, knows they need some extra more gentle core work. And they have already been cleared by their doctor. Maybe they've done some physical therapy and there's not any underlying major injury going on, but they know they need some TLC to their core. This could also be someone who, perhaps you had a baby a couple of years ago and, things are like healed, but you just can tell they're not quite. Maybe you're having some bladder leakage during your exercise. Maybe you are seeing some separation and you'd like to just do some more mindful work on it. Maybe you're having neck pain. So that was kind of the wild. We mentioned low back pain, but I think we forget during pregnancy, your rib cage actually has to expand, and your rib cage has a lot of play with your neck and your shoulders, and nursing, if you nursed. So all those things, this would be for you. You've sort of tried other avenues, or maybe you don't have a physical therapist in your area who has pelvic floor health and you've tried, other things. This would be a really gentle place to start. So these workouts are not easy, but they are intended to be very foundational. So Megan and I have, put these together with my heart and what I've used with prenatal clients through the years and postpartum. And I found them to be great, but we want to coach you through it because we're used to being with our clients in person. So there's this, where I'm like, this is an amazing program and I want everyone to do it. But also we know we want to coach you through it so we can make changes along the way. So what it looks like is you stay on the same workout, and that gives your muscles time to adapt and change. And then the workout progresses. So you'll do the same workout 6 times over 2 weeks. Then you get a new one and you do that 6 times over 2 weeks. And every workout progresses so that by the end, you start out a beginner and you go to an advanced core workout. And it's amazing to track your progress, what you can do in the first workout versus what you're going to be able to do at the end. You might not even make it through the first workout. But by the end, what you're going to be able to do with this small progress, and I'm obsessed with progressive training, progressive input, it's going to be really incredible for you. I'm excited for you. I've seen this work for many, many women and for myself. And so yeah.
And I'll say one of the benefits that I experienced, because I went through and I filmed this and I taught it for our clients in the 20-minute boost program. And what it's done for me, even after the extensive work that I've done, is it's just helped me to create this awareness of where my spine, where my back and my hips are at. And it's very much been like, I tend to, I'm going to just show this, like I tend to stand with my back out. I just love this position. I don't know why my body loves this position. And even as a small person, my stomach would bulge forward. I've talked to a lot of women about this, that they're just like, oh, my stomach is just like sticking out. And yeah, it will. Like mine too, not because of anything else, except that I just am not being aware of, holding in and holding alignment through my core, my back. And it's just, even over the last, month or two working with this, it's been very interesting for me to just be sitting in my chair or in my car or doing something with my kids. And my mind is very aware of the positioning and the support that I'm giving through my core.
And that first workout where we have the little ball between the knees, I do that in my car, so I put, if I'm driving somewhere, especially to go for a run or something, I know I need alignment through my pelvis. So I grab a water bottle, I put it between my knees while I'm driving. So this, this core program is really beautiful with that. You're going to carry it into your other workouts, your awareness. if everything you do is every workout can be a core workout once you have the mindfulness of what you're feeling, what you're noticing, what's too much.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah,
So
knowledge
on a
sounds good.
practical level, Anna kind of touched on this, like very simple workouts, five exercises, most of them.
Yep, 5 to 7.
5 to 7 exercises, a little bit of stretching, a lot of focus on breath to help, learn how to activate, and some focus on posture. So 20 minutes long is where each of these are. And like she said, progressive over 12 weeks. And so if you are here and you know that you are struggling right now with that, and maybe you're fearful of starting an exercise program because you feel like there's some restoring that needs to happen in your core, but you're not sure where to start. 12 weeks from now, I want you to know you can be in an incredible place, with more control, more support, healing so many of these deep core muscles, and then ready to really, go into an exercise program confidently. And it can feel hard, especially, a lot of women that I talk to, they have weight loss goals and they have, this vision of really needing to change their body. And it, like I said, it doesn't feel very rewarding to just focus on these teeny tiny exercises. But if you can give yourself 12 weeks of this, you are going to skyrocket yourself into being able to do more afterwards, versus the worst possible scenario is you try to jump into a workout program without doing this foundational work first, and then end up injured or discouraged or in pain. And then you haven't gotten any of the results that you had hoped to accomplish, either physically or mentally or whatever your goals are. The other piece of this core restore program also is some introductory cardio workout, right? Because we know, if you've been in our world at all and you've talked about, heard us talk about why we love exercise so much, it is about so much more than the physical side of things, right? We know that this is absolutely important for our mental health, for managing stress levels, for giving your body and brain the energy that it needs, health long-term. There's just so many reasons why we need to be active every single day if we can. So while you're working through restoring your core, we're also giving you little bits of cardio on the days that you're not doing the core workouts, as simple as going out and walking around your neighborhood or on a treadmill or something that you've got at home, going up and down flights of stairs and slowly, progressively helping you to rev up your cardio and your endurance, and get that amazing rush of energy and feel good hormones that we get from bringing our heart rate up a little bit at a time.
Yeah,
So
walking is incredible. Walking's incredible for your pelvic floor. So,
yep.
Putting on a baby, if you are, through that postpartum, you could wear your baby for this walking program. It's really foundational. We start with endurance, and then we gradually increase intensity with speed. And then finally we add what's called load. So you're doing hills or stairs with speed. So again, you're going to see, and there's measuring points when you start. How long did it take me to walk this distance? And what was my heart rate? And then 6 weeks in, you check again. And at the end, you check again. And seeing your progress, you will be blown away by what you're able to do. You're going to see your body change over the 12 weeks with that endurance. And yet it's gentle and kind and so good for you. Yeah.
And I love that. Like, I go out, my dog is here. He's probably like wiggling around in the background. I go out and I walk every day, just because I love it. I love being outside. And I've felt that as well. I was talking about that mental awareness, and it's so true. Like, when I'm walking now, I'll be out walking and I'll just feel like all of that work that I've done intentionally in the core workouts to, like, oh, okay, like I need to walk this way. And it's just, it marries everything together so beautifully. So, as we wrap up today, this program is launching in February. We've had a couple of our clients in the 20-minute boost program try some of this out and get a taste of this in January. And so we're ready to go. We are ready to go with this. And if you are interested in talking about the Core Restore program with us to see if this is a good fit for you, and what that process looks like. We have different coaching options within our 20-minute boost workout program, where the Core Restore program is. So booking a call with us is the greatest thing that you can do, the next step. We'll get on the phone with you. We'll talk about, your history and what you're struggling with, what's not working for you right now, where you want to go, and then see if this is going to be the right fit, and talk through how we can help you through that. So I'm going to just put a link here in the chat. If booking a call right now is not the best next step for you, you can also message me. You can leave a comment here and just let me know, like, what are the things that you are dealing with. We are happy to just chat with you here or in Facebook Messenger as well. To give whatever support that we can, right? We're really here to make sure that moms who are raising kids with special needs are not left behind, that you are given the tools and the resources and the support that you need and deserve as a caretaker, as a mom who is dealing with often more than we see in our typical families. And so give yourself permission, if you're struggling with this, to just do this one thing for you, and have a conversation about what this could look like for you if you fix this, and how this could actually impact your life, and not just your life, your family's life. Because in the end, when we are healthy, when we are free to move around and do things with our family, it changes everything for everybody in our world. So I think that's it for today, Anna.
Yeah,
I'm
really
so excited about this program. I'm like,
yeah, I didn't mention in my personal story, but I was told that in 2010 that I would probably only ever be able to walk or run in a pool without pain. That was part of my core journey. And Megan knows I'm training for my second long trail race this year, and so I'm running without pain. So I want to just put that out there, as while this program might be for you or it might not be, we want to talk to you about that and help you. I felt so lost and overwhelmed. I think I saw 2 chiropractors, 4 ortho doctors, and just to process, I needed to process with someone what was going on with my body. And so we want to do that with you. Excuse me, call us. And we'll be very honest with you if this is the program for you. I would never want to give this program to someone if you needed higher level of care. So
yes,
please
absolutely.
know that. Yeah, give us a call. Let's talk through what's going on with your body, not just postpartum, even if it, you're like my mom and you're 40 years postpartum or 25 years postpartum. I have seen these things be really helpful for my clients in those stages too. So
yeah, super exciting stuff. I love it. And I love those testimonials. Oh my gosh. And there's so many, right? We didn't do a lot of that except for our story today. I'm hoping in the coming weeks that we'll bring some moms in that have gone through this and have been in our programs, so that you guys can hear what this looks like for moms, because it's really exciting and encouraging to hear the stories from moms that are making this work when they've got kids that are in and out of the hospital and dealing with medical issues and just all the things that we juggle, right? There are moms that are doing this and seeing incredible things happen. So thanks for that, Anna. Enjoy the rest of your day, your week, and I popped the link in here, so if you guys are interested in chatting, grab a spot. Can't wait to talk to you about the Core Restore program. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Have a good day, Megan.
Bye, Anna.
I gotta go to my little fitness center in the library.
Yeah, go have fun in the library fitness center.